I feel like I've entered some kind of twilight zone. In between everything that has happened so far, I feel like my computer is slowly fading away from existence because of unfree software. Welcome everyone. This is not my Temple OS moment. This is not. I'm not gonna go and make a Temple OS. Although I've been tempted sometimes to make a Temple OS and to see if it's possible to do such a thing. There was just a video that the chat linked me, which or like linked all of us, which was the best. This is the best video I've ever seen before, because it is a slow burn into insanity. It is a slow burn into a level of comedy that I didn't think was possible. It's probably the best video that will ever be there. I can't make something like this. I don't know if I can ever make a video like this. This was pure cinema. This is from a channel called Ratera, and it's just a video about that face when you rewrote WoW in Java last weekend for fun. The intro alone has some of the best comedy writing I've ever seen. It's just the timing and the pacing and the way that he drops these comedic bombs in a monotone manner. Like immediately from that sentence, it's that sentence, the POV. What look at the background. The background's the funniest part. There are two boxes of Kellogg's. There's no need for him to have two boxes of the same cereal. It is that POV shot of him, and then with the laptop on the round table. There's just something about it. His facial reactions, the way that he moves around, the fact that it's still the background is the funniest thing. The fact that there is no food in the kitchen, there is no food except for two boxes of cereal. And the thing is that it looks like an ordinary computer. It is. It is the juxtaposition between what he's saying and the reality of what he's showing, that this computer, there is nothing about this computer that is like unordinary, that is extraordinary. It is just an ordinary computer, but it's a symbolism. For this video, this laptop is a symbol of the Software Freedom Fighter Foundation, of which it was found just at this moment when you watch this video. It's a Libra 14 from the paranoid people. Holy shit! God, it is so funny because this is a real laptop, and the company. The company is called Purism, and so when he says it's from the paranoid people, it's a level of comedy that you can't even begin to understand unless you're in the know. It's the level of comedy is that he's saying that these people are paranoid because they've made this like fully free, private, secure machine that is entirely of your own making and choosing, with only open source components. Well, up until the hardware, at which point you're really locked into an ecosystem that you can't do anything in. Hello, chat. And so when he says that this is the Librem 14 by the paranoid people, it's because you have to be paranoid to like get this. However, I have looked at the Librem 14 in the past, and I've debated between getting this or a framework, and I would still get a MacBook. It's a lib computer. No, the paranoid people. It's running Linux. What? Tell us what distro, sire? Wait, was that me or the video? And then, sorry, the second best part is that the video has these weird audio glitches, and the quality. It's as if. What the fuck is that? A kitchen wall? Yeah, this video is peak cinema. Everyone should watch it. It's the video that was linked inside the Femboy Stocks channel. Everything about this video is cinema. Even the camera that it's recorded on. This feels like a smuggled video footage that you'd find on like an underground. It's like a video that you'd find on a mailing list from 2008, or like on like Live League or something. Like this is a video that you wouldn't see anywhere else. FSF endorsed GNU Linux, Intel engine management disabled. So you disable all the non-free components. The Free Software Foundation. This is a Richard Stallman. Is his name? This is a Stallman improved. This is a Stallman approved Linux distro. It is free. It's freer than free, right? The Librem. It's made by the paranoid people. That whole video is cinema. That intro was so chock full of some of the best comedy writing that I've heard in a long time, and it's that weird comedy writing that like sits in between in the niches, right? It's hard to do niche comedy writing because it can start to feel like very quippy BS, where it's only funny insofar as you are in the know. If you're not in the know, then it's not nearly as funny. But this one doesn't. It doesn't feel like a reference fest. It is kind of a reference fest in that you kind of need to, but you can get away with just hearing the terms and you could still laugh at it because it evokes an image of somebody who genuinely believes in something. And then when he calls himself a software freedom fighter, like you feel it. That's a software freedom fighter, man. Like you feel it, and you don't even need to know the terms. That's why it sits in that perfect world where you need neither the knowledge nor the expertise to enjoy what it is they're saying. You can just pop that on and enjoy the fact that he has made probably the best high quality shitpost of World of Warcraft I've ever seen. He made an entire Warcraft 3 mod to shitpost it, man. Oh, anyways, yeah. So the Librem, they do have some pretty cool hardware. Like they have you even have a Librem 11 privacy respecting tablet. See that? This is your privacy respecting tablet where nobody can hack into it. So you can get the tablet and you have a free tablet that is for you. The management engine is pre-disabled for you on purchase and you can use it. Look, you can even draw the word beautiful freedom. Beautiful freedom. What is this? 60 hertz? Ew. Okay, I do agree 60 hertz is ew. Especially for like a tablet in this day and age. But to be fair, the cost of 120 hertz is your freedom, right? Do you want more hertz or do you want more freedom? Which one do you choose, brother? And then look. They even have a kawaii. They even have a kawaii Animu mascot. This is wow. Anyways, I feel like I've entered the Twilight Zone. I was hit with that when I woke up, and I was like, I don't know what to do. It's what it is when you encounter something like that, and you encounter something amazing, like when you encounter something on that level of quality and you see how well somebody has been able to make something with so little, it sort of depletes you. It diminishes you. It demolishes you in a way that you don't understand. Like I don't even feel like I know what I want to do anymore, because after watching that, it's like, what's the point of doing anything? I can never reach that level. I can't ever reach that level of comedy video. It's frustrating. It's genuinely frustrating. There is a difference between even listen, the normies and the freedom fighters, we stand above them. And yet even amongst us freedom fighters, there's still a difference between us individuals. Welcome to today's stream. Cut back to the feed. You let Bezos listen to you if you can get a 140 hertz tablet. Well, the opposite, right? Wouldn't you want Bezos? Like, wouldn't it be worse if you have to listen to Bezos? I think I would garner. I would bet that the chat is funnier than Jeff Bezos. I would bet that the chat is genuinely more interesting to talk to than Jeff Bezos. Sometimes I listen to interviews by Jeff Bezos, and if he could bend his back like 80 degrees, he would self-suck every single meeting. Because I swear to God, Every single time I hear him talk, it's always self-fellatio about how good of a business person he is, about how important leadership is within business, and that leadership is about the macro, while us worker bees are about the micro. And that seems to be the only topic that he ever talks about. Like these people, I don't know why, but they either don't present a personality or maybe they don't have any. But I don't know if I could stand being in a room with him where he self-fellatiates, where he self-fellates about his ability to run Amazon. I think it'd be harder to listen to him while you're trying to get in return a tablet, like a 140 hertz tablet. You open the stream and the first thing that you hear is masturbation. Great. Well, you know what? That's the way it goes around here. If you think about it, right? That is the natural consequence of things, right? How long can you go when you wake up before you have to jerk off? In our case, it's been 14 minutes. Welcome everyone to today's stream. I've got one other weird techie thing to show you. 2 days tops. 2 days tops. See, I'm just doing the same thing that we all do that no one's willing to talk about. No one told me about this, and it's too late for me. Nobody told me about this server throwing championship, and it's too late for me. 3 if you really try. Okay, let's. You can't say it like that. You sound like a gooner. You sound like a gooner when you say if you really try, right? Because like at least if you say like, oh, like, you know, it's I go longer if I don't have time. It sounds more sophisticated. It sounds like, oh, like you're a gentleman who wouldn't do it if it's like if you're busy in life. No, you're just a quote unquote young man, a manly man. Okay, well hopefully you're above 18, because if you aren't, there's gonna be problems. You believe in you. Another chatter believes in you. Because this is the thing, right? When you say that you can't do it, you're 31. Honestly, it's crazy. I'm 30, okay? Even at 30, I still feel sometimes the intense drives. And I always hear about, you know, because the meme is like you hear people at this age and they go, well, it doesn't work. Or like, I don't feel it anymore. And I'm like, buddy, I don't think it ever stops. Like, I mean, maybe when we get older, but I'm like, I feel like there's an acceptance of like a certain state of being, but I feel like the individual variance is so high that there's no way that it just like immediately like disappears, right? Like it's I don't know. Copium, sure, old man. I swear I can still get hard. Anyways, look, nobody told me about the server throwing championship, all right? Applications are closed. If you don't know what this is, for more than 10 years, servers have been thrown in data center basements organized by the Dutch cloud community. Nobody has been allowed to talk about it until now. The World Server Throwing Association brings this intense underground sport, which has been criticized as needlessly brutal to servers, into the mainstream for the whole cloud community to enjoy. This is, and I'm not even kidding you. This is a competition where you throw a server. You throw a server as far and as hard as you can. And I don't know why I've never seen this. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that there's like voiceover. Can we just listen? What is this? Magnus, why are you here and why are you topless with the strongest grip Canadian? Look at this. If you're an IT worker, you should try this. Look at the crowd. Look at how hyped the crowd is. Look at how many people are in the crowd. I would have never expected this from a crowd, and yet it makes sense. It's like that scene in Office Space where they all stomp on the printer and they get really incredibly upset at the printer and they vent their frustrations. This is a commiseration party. This is a gathering of the miserables, right? They're hyped because they're drinking. Okay, well, I was trying to inject a sense of romance into the matter, okay? But you're probably right, and it probably is a free drink thing. But still, there's a romance to a bunch of IT workers looking at another IT worker throw a server to destroy it. Sorry, I'm a nihilist. No, I think you're an alcoholic. And wait, aren't you the rock climbing person? If you're a nihilist, I don't think you should be allowed to rock climb. Like that's you are on the precipice of life and death. Yes, you are. Why not both? Why not both? You know what? You're not wrong. Every nihilist that I've ever seen has also been really into alcohol to wash their pain away. Look at this. What's funny is that I I I look at the way that they throw these servers and I look at the ground that they cover at the distance and I think to myself I could do it so much better like one-handed like swinging it like a boomerang. But I think the problem is that you have to try not to kill somebody inside the audience. So it's like if I do that, I am worried that I'm gonna swing that thing and then someone's gonna die because someone's head's like imagine dying because you got decapitated by an Intel Xeon. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't. I wouldn't want to have that on my eulogy. You want to climb to just fall to your death. You only climb to the top just to fall to your death. You know what? To be fair, once you reach the top, what else is there? Right? Like once you reach the top of Mount Everest, what else do you do in rock climbing? There are no more rocks to climb. That's the crazy part about rock climbing is that rock climbing has an actual end game. And if all you live for is rock climbing, there's nothing for you to do. Extra points. No one's gonna do the bonus objectives. Look, no one's gonna climb like a building for like bonus objectives. Okay, you get +1 points for each person that you hit. What? The beast. Sorry, that's like when you go into an esports match and they do the intro of the esports players and it's just like just a bunch of very scrawny gamers doing a lineup and they say something cool and they pretend to be like awesome, but like everyone's just there. Like not to say that esports isn't a real sport, right? But what I'm trying to say is that as a fellow gamer, you can't look cool. Like it's impossible to look cool. The end game boss of what of he's just the end game boss, like he's just the CEO now. The machine this guy is a monster. If that server doesn't explode into flames, I would feel hurt. I like her face. I like how her face had this like mixture of worry and concern when it landed. Look, so she threw it, right? She threw it with a level of gusto and like hate for this thing because she's like, I don't want to deal with the server anymore. This thing's being a piece of shit. Keeps on rebooting in the middle of the night. We have to keep going out at 3 a.m. to like service call it. Throws it. When it lands and it makes the like the crunchy noise, she's like, "Ooh, sorry, buddy." It's like, no, let the anger fuel you. Feel the satisfaction. Don't be subservient to your servers. You may be IT workers, but you're not cocks. Oh shit! You even get like a headband and like a glove and stuff. See, 2 days of thread competition. This is pretty good. Honestly, if you look at rock climbing like that, climbing is about getting better, at least for you, getting stronger and improving your climbing skills. It's not about climbing on the mountain. That is true, but how do you know if you're getting better if there's no harder mountain to climb? That's a Zen cone for you. It's a Zen cone for you. By the way, I learned that Zen cones are not what I was saying. A Zen koan, so a Zen koan or Kwan, a Zen koan is a small short story. I thought so. I only know the term in my language, which isn't this. But the term here, it's a short story. So I thought it was something else, and I didn't realize that like that's what a koan was. I thought it was this other concept, which I still don't know the name of it in English. So where it's like you say a phrase and it's like it's almost like a small quip or like a philosophical phrase that you're saying. I'm supposed to wrap up the philosophy inside of a short story. So it's like instead of saying how do you know if you get better if there are no more mountains to climb, I should be saying something like you've reached the top of yourself. But how do you know that that's the best? No, you've reached the top. You've reached the top of mountain climbing. You've reached the peak. Yet there are no more peaks to climb. And then like that's the structure of a Zen koan compared to what I said before. You assume that you can't spin throw. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a single person do a spin throw, and I feel like that is a technically a very high powered spin throw. That is the AMD Zen logo. I don't know how to tell this to you. I don't know how to tell this to you. The AMD Zen logo is an appropriation of Buddhism. Oh, that's good. You can climb the same mountain faster or with less energy wasted. You're right. And at some point, the mountain will climb you. What are you guys doing over in what is Dutchland? Is Dutchland a real place? I don't know anything about geography. Dutch land. Like what is going on in the Netherlands that you would do this? Why do you why do you hate your wait a minute. IT companies in the Netherlands. IT companies, ASML, IBM, TomTom, Cisco, Adyen. Never mind, I feel you. I actually wonder how they got sponsors for this, and I wonder how much of a waste this is. Like, these have to be dead servers, right? Servers that have died for some reason and can't be repaired at all. And also, I want to say something. Look at this throw. Look at the angle that it's headed for, okay? This person in the red over here is about to die. I don't know if this arena is large enough to keep people safe. It's a bit like, you know the javelin toss? Every time I see the javelin toss arena, right? And I look at all the people standing around the javelin toss, like, pitch, I always wonder to myself, like, what if that person just misses and you die? Like, they will impale you with a javelin. Because that thing is sharp, right? And it goes really fast. And it doesn't, at that speed, it doesn't even have to be sharp to kill you. It just, at that speed, it's going to impale you no matter what, right? So it's like you have all these people standing around the pitch as this person is running and spinning. You have all these people that are further down the line that are like in this like in a rectangular arena to get a good viewing. But it's not like the throwing cone is like a video game where you can't get out of the cone. It really, it's like a throwing radius where everything around you is a potential target. So I'm like, if the person just messes up and their arm like twitches, you're dead. There was one time a referee got impaled by a referee impaled by javelin. I can't show this to you, but I'll watch it myself, and you can listen to the noises. You can listen to the noises. Okay, he's going for the throw. Lock it in, Juha. Lock it in, Juha. Throws it. Oh! What's crazy is he just pulls the javelin out of his chest. Everybody's laughing. Do you hear the laughter? Do you hear the laughter? I can't show this to you because it's like violent, but do you hear the laughter? He throws it. Okay, this is moment of impact in 3, 2, 1. Guys, he almost died. Why is everyone laughing at this? It's like, and he's holding the wound like he's being shot. Why is everyone laughing? He got impaled by a javelin. What am I watching? What the fuck is going on? Oh, what the real surveys. Freeze frame kind of looks like a UFO. It does. Oh shit! I have hiccup. Sorry. We need to see like competition footage. It might have competition footage. I need to get some water. Sorry, give me a second. I okay, I'm back. What is this? Okay, so there's a freedom fighter speech by the father of MP3. I want to see a server throwing. Server throwing. We need to see like a real good server throwing. There you go. This was the server throwing championship 2025. Highlights from exploring the human edge. I don't want to explore the human edge. I don't want to watch an edging video. Not again. I'm gonna relapse if I watch another edging video. Man, okay, a lot of their technique, I think you're only allowed to go from a standing pose. Why are there cheerleaders? Why are there cheerleaders at this competition? Do they stand there while it's being thrown? Like, what's the point of the cheerleaders? I always love these random competitions because they think of the funniest ways to entertain the crowd. There's no need for cheerleaders. Everybody's here to see the servers. There's no need for this. I think they fundamentally misunderstand the audience. I'm there. This is cloud money. Okay, you know what's funny? You might not be wrong. They might just be trying to spend the budget before it's too late. Because once the new quarter rolls over, they lose that budget. And so they need to spend that budget, and they're going to spend it on whatever they can find. If it costs exactly the amount left over to hire cheerleaders for your server throwing competition, they're going to do so. There was one clap. Look. All of them, every single person was excited to see it. This person was like, I've seen better back in my day. And only one clapper. That is sad. That is genuinely upsetting. I want you to know, when I come here, my server will be thrown the furthest out of every single server. I'm going to be the best server thrower. The problem is I can't apply anymore, so the applications are done. So you also need to get a Cloudfest pass. What's a Cloudfest pass? No, how much is a Cloudfest pass? Oh shit! Oh my god! What the fuck? Okay, so it's 500 euros. It's only for Cloudfest's core audience of CSPs, hosters, MSPs, corporate IT, web agencies, and WordPress developers. WordPress developers? I'm sorry. You give the discount. You give the discount for the WordPress developers. Really? You give the cheap version for the WordPress. Nobody gives a fuck about. You know what's crazy, actually? So WordPress still powers most of the world's websites, and WordPress as a whole is a massive amount of money. If you want to make money in software, what? Damn, that's expensive. Bottom feeders. Sorry. I have to train for the next one. You know what? I'll do it right now. I'll train right now. Chad, I'm going to throw my PC. The stream may end, but I swear it's going to be really good. Okay, Chad? I'm going to throw it. I'm throwing it. I went too far for the bit. I'm trying to hit the start streaming button again. It is refusing to. Okay, everyone. Sorry about that. Yeah. So the server, my computer did survive. Stream went down for a tiny bit. The bit went on a bit longer because OBS doesn't. OBS doesn't like it when you stop a stream and you immediately restart the stream. Like OBS freaks out and says, "Sorry, we don't have permission. We don't have permission to go back live. We can't do it." So yeah, it was just a oopsie daisy. The bit went on for too long. Sorry. That was quick. I'm an IT professional. I've been doing this since I was a baby. But yeah, so if you want to make money within tech, honestly, go for the unsexy, unpopular technologies because there's actually a lot of money in being not sexy. There's actually less money being sexy. The sexy stuff is incredibly hard to make money with because though you may make a quick million, somebody who works on COBOL makes that in like 2 months. So and in WordPress, if you have a really, really, really good contract, you can easily make that in like a year. It's crazy how expensive some of these things are and how low maintenance it is too. Like if you maintain a WordPress server and you charge someone a contract to keep you on retainer, you may be called like 5 to 6 times. So it's pretty nuts. You're gonna try out the L2. See us later. Go on, have fun. We'll be joining you soon because today is also a demo day. Now, as I said before, today is a bit of a demo day where we're going to be playing through a lot of demos that I've been saving up. The problem is that all the demos are going to disappear in one more day. So we have one more day to get through all of these demos. I've also been given games for us to try. So people have decided to trust me in trying out their games, which I find funny because can you imagine trusting somebody like me to try out your game in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, I will be good about, what the game is. But we have two unsuspecting developers who have unleashed me from my chains, and so I'm going to try out their games. One is a narrative game that is apparently very, very popular among Disco Elysium players, so you might like this a lot. The other is a fishing game, so the mod is gonna love this if she was here, but I think she's still asleep. It's basically like a Fishy Friday style game. What's crazy is that both are up our alley. What I'm realizing is that the people who reach out to you, they know you more than you know yourself. Okay, and I will never turn down a game given to me because it's like you seeing something that makes you think that I would enjoy this, and so I'm going to take it wholeheartedly. And I always think about this phrase: the first person to reach out has the most to lose. The first person to act had the most to lose. They reached out knowing that they may get nothing in return, and so the least that you can do is give them the time and day and attention. Unless you don't want to, in which case you can tell them no, but sorry, but no, and then just leave. But you know what I mean? But unless they're also very scary, in which case you just don't say anything and you just ignore them. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is there's a world where I don't feel that fear because I'm very privileged, and so I don't need to... I have a song for you all before we go into it. It's called Reality Emotions by Tame Impala. It's a very interesting song. Once again, it's often the same album as that last song as well. I really, really enjoy Tame Impala. As I said before, there's something about their sound, right? But the thing is that their sound is not really a new sound, and yet I still can't help but want to listen to it over and over and over again. There's just something interesting about the way that it makes you feel, and it makes you sort of go through these emotions. And I find it fascinating that it's all done by a single person, because I've been trying. It's really hard. Can I go on the side rant? I'm off tomorrow on Tuesday, okay? Because I'm going to be spending time with my wife. That's great. Sometimes I go off because I don't get to spend time with my wife. I have to do stuff, and that sucks. And you know what I realized two nights ago? I realized that there's not enough time. That at some point, I'm going to die, and there's not enough time for me to do all that I want. And so I've had to continually remove the things that I want to do from my life in order to get the time for the things that I want to do. I've had to break out of my lazy shell in order to achieve my ambitions and my dreams. And it makes me wonder, is it worth it to have ambitions and the dreams for all this pain? You'll feel better after listening to this song. Please enjoy the song, and we'll start the demos right after I finish. Mr. Dramatic, you have at least 30 years. I'm probably going to die in the next 5. That song is compressed as shit. And what's funny is that the entire album is compressed as shit. When Currents dropped, I really enjoyed the entire album. But my biggest complaint about the album was that it was fully compressed as shit. And yet, what an absolute banger of an album. I really enjoyed that song. I especially really enjoyed I like the progression of his vocals. There's something about the progression of his vocals that I particularly enjoyed, because it sort of like goes up and it goof down and it sort of swings around. It's a fun little vocal progression that I think only really works in this style of song. Because you hear it in any other type of song, it would feel almost too out of place. But in a song like this, everything sounds out of place, and yet it's all found its place. If that makes sense. But yeah, the album is great. Currents as a whole is a great album, but you can definitely tell they've improved later on, because remember when I showed you all the Thundercat song No More Lies? This song sounds so much better from a pure sort of sound clarity perspective. Not to say that it's necessarily, towering over Currents, but at least you hear a level of dynamism in the song that like nothing feels like it doesn't feel like you're hitting the brick wall constantly, which is interesting. But also, it's a Thundercat song. Like, you can't go wrong with the song. And you know what? Let's just listen to the Thundercat song again. You know what? Here, you get a double music special today. The other song, because I really enjoy their Thundercat song, and we'll listen to it again because I think it's interesting to sort of listen to them both, one after the other, and hear the progression of his production. It's actually really good. If I could live forever and just sort of take that moving forward and just have the ability to be alive forever and take in every single bit of enjoyment in life, I think I would. The problem is that when you live forever, I think there is an interesting element of you now have a responsibility in some way to the greater world at large, right? Like Invincible kind of touched on this, which is a weird. It's weird to use that as sort of the framework, but just hear me out here. Invincible in that show has the Immortal, who is literally immortal. Lore wise, apparently he was Thomas Jefferson, or who is that American president that got assassinated? But that wasn't JFK. You know what I mean? But basically, he was that guy, and then he left his whole family and he like was in these positions of power, and then continually sort of like quietly controlled things in order to make things better, right? I think at some point when you're immortal, because you have a responsibility to keep things going, I feel like it ended up being more work than it's worth. At the same time, though, I can't tell if it's a responsibility or a selfish desire. If, and this is a weird sort of like moral ethical question maybe, but if you're immortal and the world was about to end because of bad actors, let's say, right? Because of people going and starting a lot of trouble in the world. This is not in reference to anything current. It's just more of like a hypothetical, right? And it was about to ruin your fun forever, because then without people in the world, you wouldn't be able to do anything, but you also can't die. So you're just sort of there endlessly on this like nuclear wasteland. Would you step in? And is that for your sake, or is that for everybody else's sake? Tough question. However, I still would love to live forever. My dream is to be a vampire, because life is... And it's weird too. I think about this a lot. I don't love life. I love the artifacts of life. I love the fact that I can go out, play World of Warcraft, jerk off, smoke weed every day, eat nice steak, and watch a movie. And it's all new experiences, because it could be with entirely new things every single time. It could be a new World of Warcraft patch. I could have a new sex sword, like a new flavor of Fleshlight Tenga from Bad Dragon Tenga. I don't know, right? You could have a new flavor of steak from a new restaurant that you've never been to that opens up, right? You could, all because life moves on. Anyways, I have to pee, because did you know that when I do those music segments, I don't want to leave because the music is too good, but I do those music segments as a way for me to go pee, but then I get too into the song, so I'm just here bobbing and like I'm just here like moving my head to the beat, and I gotta take a piss. I gotta go before it explodes. When I'm back, we're gonna go right into the demo, so just it'll be quiet for a bit. This guy, it's too good. The songs are too good. You can't blame me. If you hate me, you hate. And do you want to be known as the person who hates art? We're going cold open into every single game we're going to be doing today. There's a lot of games. Again, as I mentioned, 2 people have emailed me their games. We're going to start with the emailed games in order of the email. So it's in the order of the email timestamps. If you want in first in the line, you must send me an email sooner. It may surprise you that emails have a timestamp when you consider that I reply to them maybe 1 month later. But you know what? I don't know where I'm going with this. This is for software freedoms. Be good to everybody. Think about who told you that you need to build a PC naked, because that's funny. And I want you to really think about what it means to have somebody tell you that, okay? Because boy, oh boy, is that funny. And just think about the mechanics of you building a PC naked. Like, your nipples would be rock hard constantly because it'd be too cold for you to do anything. Because I don't know about you, but like, aside from having to lift the thing, it gets kind of cold when you're building a PC because all the pieces are metal, which seem to leach heat very well. I'll be back in just a moment. You wish you could see her naked. You dirty perverts. Yeah, you wish you could see her naked. You wish I would remove the BRB sign so you see... Oh! We're moving on to the next game. This is yet another emailed game. This is not a sponsored segment, by the way. No one's giving me money for this. I'm not making any money from this. They just give me the game and they just say, have fun. They just go, hey, you might like this. Your audience might love this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I trust you. Do you know why, chat? Because some of you, not all of you, some of you, I would argue like most of you don't know me, but some of you know me better than I do me. Some of you, however, deign to say that the VOD channel is the main channel. I take offense to that. That's not the main channel. We're moving on to yet another game that somebody has sent me. This one is called Liveburst Smoke and Mirrors. And I think this is going to be a more narrative-heavy game. And so I'm actually excited about this one too. Like, I was excited about both of them. But this one is interesting because it is going to fit what we are. What's funny, though, is that, and I need to talk about this. I don't know if they know this, but... Here, you know what? Look. Hello, this is a real cat? Wow, this is a real cat. Yellow's the name, and I'm the owner of this game studio. The 5 people who made this game are my loyal slaves. They write wonderful stories. I vouch for them, but to present them to you in the best possible way and to keep me well fed, they need your support. If you need to help my slaves out, you can add our game to your wish list. It's already added, but okay, I'll click the button. That was good. Really good. That's a real cat, by the way. I'm going to go on a short break. Just a quick one to sit down and recover my thrussy. My thrussy needs a little bit of a break, so please enjoy the image that I prepared for you. And I'll be right back in just a moment. Again, just a quick little break. Everyone just sit down and enjoy your break. There'll be no ad breaks. Just don't refresh, otherwise you will get an ad and I can't control that, okay? And I will be back in just a moment. BRB. I'm back. Sorry about that. When you play a heavy narrative game like that, I think you need to give yourself a moment to recover. Like emotionally and mentally and also just like vocally. My thrusty was doing work, man. I gotta... So talking for a long time, again, I started streaming because A, my wife wanted to see me play games. But 2, I also wanted to get better at public speaking. You can tell that my stuttering has gotten a lot better over time. And practicing it in public has been a very, very helpful thing. However... I've also adopted a bit of a YouTuber/streamer cadence of voice, which I hate. I need to remember how I speak in a normal public. How do I sound like in a meeting? Can we have like a fake meeting, everyone? Can we have a fake meeting? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my meeting. Fuck! It's the YouTuber cadence. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? I just start every meeting like, "Hello, everyone. Welcome to my meeting. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this PowerPoint." It's like, fuck, sorry guys, sorry. You may not realize it, but I'm a YouTuber. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're gonna move on now. We're gonna play some more demos. Okay, no sound. Okay, muted. We're gonna move on. Actually, you know what's funny about that? So the muted thing, right? I've never joined a meeting where everyone had their microphone or their camera on. It's so much easier to shut it off because I don't get the point of having your camera on during a meeting. I listen better when I look away and I stare at the ceiling. I'm not even kidding you. I used to do meetings in my bed, but I had a full computer set up. I would just join the meeting, go on my wireless headphones, go onto the bed, stare at the ceiling. And then when it was my turn to talk, I would take like 20 seconds to get off the bed, go to the microphone, and they'd be waiting for me. And I would unmute and say, yeah, and then mute again, and then I would just go back to the bed. But I was listening to everything, so I still got things done. It's just... The old style of needing everyone to be at attention and to like be there to stare and to like look at each other in the eyes through a virtual world, it doesn't matter anymore. It's never mattered. It's never mattered once. Do you know why? What matters is results. What matters is the ability to get things done, not whether or not you're there. What matters is whether or not you can get things done. These next few demos are going to be what feel like... How do I say this? It feels like IT workers out there in the world are crying out for help, and they've discovered a whole new world where they can say and write things. Because back then, we had Morse code, and we had... And then we had televised video. Nowadays, we have HIO and video games. And so it feels like every IT worker has now gotten into video games as a way to write like SOSs, like help letters, you know? Like you call the pizza place and you say, help, I need pizza. Very much the same way with these games, because every single one of these games feels like the type of fantasy that you have in that you wish your job could be like this, but it isn't like this, and really you yearn for something more, and this is your only way to get out of this hellscape that is the corporate ladder. So this is sort of the context of what these next few demos are. You can't deep think and look at the eyes. You can have a conversation and small talk, but if you need to really think, you have to look down or up. Can I say something about that? I do the same thing. Deep think, you don't know if it's a word. So having like a deep thought, or like being, well, it's really about being deep in thought. I would say probably the better way to say it is that you can't be deep in thought and look at somebody in the eyes. But I do the same thing. But for every single conversation, if I'm talking to somebody, it's really hard for me to look to like pay attention to them. My wife is like that too, and I've learned that my wife is like that. So I try my best not to like get on my case about it. But for us, it's a lot easier to look away and like look around. I've accidentally stared at people's boobs and their asses before, and I didn't mean to. But it's like whenever I talk to my coworkers, right? I always just look down naturally. And I think at first they were weirded out, but then they just kind of realized that it was just me, so they no longer cared. I wasn't staring at the titties. I was just staring at nothing. Like my eyes were just turned off, and I was just staring at nothing. But I've been in some uncomfortable situations where I realized, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and I would go, I wasn't staring at that, and then they would go, no, it's okay. I know you're just zoning out. But the worst is when I'm on the bus, because when I was on the bus to work, I would be thinking. So I would just stare, right? I would just stare. And I wouldn't realize is that it's because when you're on the bus and you're just staring, and I'm staring sort of like straight ahead or like down, I'm like someone's ass is in the way. So like from like so some slightly far away, it looks like I'm staring directly at someone's ass. And you don't have that rapport or that or that camaraderie to be able to tell someone I'm not staring at you. I'm just staring at nothing. Like I'm not even using my eyes at the moment. They're open, but they're useless. It's really hard to explain. But yeah, I've gotten into trouble with that a couple times. It's a bad habit that I need a break, but at the same time, I can't just close my eyes because then I fall asleep. Staring at the forehead is a power move. I don't know. Is that why? There was one time I went to dinner with the mod as well as a couple of other friends, right? And I was like, she's staring at me, but she's not staring at me. She's staring at whoever's talking, but not really staring at them. Like she's staring almost above them. And I was like, and I remember even like looking behind me at some point, being like, what is there? Were you just staring at the forehead the entire time? Is my forehead huge? Is that a mosquito? Give me a second. I wasn't muted. I'm so sorry. I thought I pressed the mute button. That's why that's why you get to wear sunglasses all the time. That is very true. But at the same time, you can't do that in an office. If you do it in an office, they think that you're high. With a slightly concerned look, you just stare at the forehead with a slightly concerned look, judging the hairline. I have a good hairline. Okay, I got a good hairline. Anyways, give me a moment. I'll set the game up. I have to go wash my hands. I have the blood of a mosquito on my hands, but it was my blood in the first place. You guess you might as well update Windows since you're logged into it. Are you sure it wasn't the massive titties that convinced you to update Windows? I have had a revelation for why I'm so tired today. It's because A, I slept maybe like 7 hours, so it's not a good sleep. Well, maybe 6 hours. But B, I effectively ran through multiple new jobs in a single day. Like basically what I did was the equivalent of going through job training for several jobs all at the same time. I went through the job training to be a hacker. I went through the job training to be an IT worker. And then I went through the job training to be a network administrator. I also went through the job training to be a witch and the job training to be a fisher person. I'm going insane. I went through 5 different jobs all in one day. But you know what? Isn't that the beauty of these games? Is that they allow you to do things and take part in activities that you would otherwise not be able to in a simplified form that allows you to simply enjoy the process without having to go wild on yourself, right? Like you can actually go ahead and enjoy the process of something without having to become an expert in it because it's been so lovingly crafted to be simplistic enough yet still retain its complexity for the general audience. This next thing is not that. Well, maybe if you can't walk, but I don't know if you get that same feeling here. This next one is actually an interesting demo that I'll get into when I boot it up. That I think you'll really enjoy because it's a demo of a game that's going to come out that is also kind of related to a game that we played that also was apparently a game from a long time ago that just has never been updated. So please do enjoy. Give me a moment to set things up. That was a fun little exploration game. I really enjoyed that. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going to go now. I'm busy. I've got things to do, and I need to take care of some things. Thank you for joining me on today's little demo escapade. There was a lot of demos for today, and I hope that you enjoyed this trip down why you should never work in a corporate office doing IT. It's fairly mind-numbing. Please do enjoy your days. Have a good time. I won't be back tomorrow, no, Tuesday, probably not even Wednesday. I'll be spending time with my wife. I also won't be playing games, but I will be playing that tower networking thing. I think that tower networking game has Hardwired and tower networking hooked me. Live Burr hooked me. And the fishing game, that also hooked me. I am thoroughly impressed with all the games I've seen today. And again, thank you to the developers who sent me keys to the games and even just told me about the games. I appreciate you trusting me, giving your game a shot, and honestly. I'm not sponsored, but it's always funny to think that somebody likes me enough to want me to try this stuff. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy your day. And remember, what's a life lesson for today? What's a life lesson? See the things that you used to always see with a new light. See all the, a man walks around the city he's always known. And yet for some reason, he doesn't know this road anymore. Is he lost, or has he finally found his place? Zen Cohen. Bye.